And now, an Envision Financial podcast with Luke Smith on Canberra's 2CC.
And now on to much more cheerful chatter. We've got Luke Smith from Envision Financial here to tell us how you can be a good customer.
And avoid a stabbing and a shooting.
That's exactly right. Look, hopefully the people that have been injured will come through and be okay. Yeah. But let's turn our attention now to financial matters. Yep. And you've picked a fascinating topic today. How can you do your part when it comes to getting advice? Now, if I'm a difficult customer and I come to you, Luke, and say, Luke, I'm terrible with money, save me from myself, there's only so much you can do if I don't also put in some effort, right?
And look, exactly right. This was a sort of tongue-in-cheek one today on behalf of the girls in the office, because I'm the one that has to hear about it. I'm outnumbered 3-1 in the office, as most people know, and as the only boy in there, I need some help from people because I'm outnumbered in a big way. And, you know, as most of my clients know, there are a couple of girls in the office that you don't mess with. And even sometimes I'm a little frightened of them. So if this is really just about trying to make sure that people keep in mind that they will do everything they can do, but there's things that people can do, again, tongue-in-cheek, to try and make things more efficient, quicker, faster and better, because there's a very good chance they're trying to do something for you.
Yes. Now, you say tongue-in-cheek, and yes, we'll keep it light, but it's still good advice.
Totally. Look, it's relevant to me, to lawyers, to accountants, to anybody that you're dealing with really in any aspect of your life. If we can get some of this right, things will just be faster, cleaner, quicker and far more enjoyable, because let's be fair, nobody likes paperwork.
No, they do not. But that, I see, is number one on your list. It says get your paperwork back, get it returned on time.
Yeah, look, exactly. If you want money out of a super fund, you want money out of a trust, you want something sold so you can buy a caravan, the longer you take to get the forms back, the longer it takes to sell the assets you need to pay for the thing you're eagerly waiting for. So if you get sent something, get it back in a timely manner. If we've got to chase it 5 or 6 times, or you then call up and say, well, where's my money? I've got to buy my caravan. Have you returned those forms so we have permission to sell those assets? Oh, that's not going to be good for anybody. So if you get something, return it in a timely manner. The next thing people can do is read the email and instructions you've been given, because there's a very good chance that those instructions are very thorough and they will answer the 3 or 4 stupid questions you're going to ring up and ask and take 15 or 20 minutes of somebody's time when they could be getting you your money. If you just read the email, it would have answered exactly what you're going to call up and ask for, because a lot of time and effort went into those instructions and a lot of time and effort went into that email. So,
but look, some people just want to have that personal touch.
And that personal touch is fine, but I don't need 9 personal touches. One's more than enough. And that leads me into the next cracker. All right? This is a beauty. Sign where indicated.
Ah, yes.
Not where you think it goes. Not where you would like to put it. Not in every sign here box. Not in every entity on the page, on every page, or scribble one out and sign somewhere else. There's a very good chance you've got a document and there's either sign here sticker on it, or there's a digital line that says sign in this box. Just sign in the box. And if it says sign with a pen, guess what? That is because wherever we've got to send it will not take a digital signature. If it would take a digital signature, we'd say slap one in there.
Yep.
But if the girls go to the trouble of saying, please print and sign it with a pen, aka a wet signature, yes, I agree it's archaic. Yes, I agree it's stupid. Yes, I agree we've come a long way with technology. But I also have no control over the rules set by the entity that is asking for the wet signature. Even though the stupidity of it is you will print it, sign it, and scan it back. I get the irony or the stupidity of that, right? But I can't fix it. So calling my girls and saying, oh my God, but achieves nothing.
I think that all of that is a fair point, but sometimes those boxes where it says sign here, they're too small. What if I've got a big, bold, elaborate signature.
That's cool.
And it just won't fit in the box.
I don't care if it fits in a box. Mine doesn't fit in a box. I'm not saying fit in the box. I'm saying just sign the box that has the arrow next to it, not the 6 on every other page, because what will happen is it's got to be redone, and that slows down you getting your money.
Okay.
So it's not hard to be a great administrator. You know, I think the next one is, if you're going to come to something, confirm. And I know those texts and the emails, and we book in with the doc, we book in anywhere and get reminder, text, email, text.
Yep.
They're there for a reason. Because if you miss an appointment, there could be a 5-month wait to get back in. So we don't want to throw anybody's diary out. Just be on time and make sure it's there.
Indeed.
The next fun one, and everybody loves this, and this one does my head in too. Instalment tax is set and created by the ATO. We just help you pay it and collect it from your trust, your super fund, yourself, whatever it may be. We don't set it. We don't create it. We don't keep it. We're just helping you pay it. So ringing up my girls and going, this number's ridiculous. Yep, okay. Again, we didn't do it. We're just trying to help you.
Yeah, but if you try to ring the ATO, they don't always answer the phone.
Well, and even if you do, they 99% of the time don't care anyway. So,
Exactly.
you know, again, it's like the next one. If you've got to pay some capital gains tax, I get it. I'm like anyone else. I don't like paying tax. But if you're paying some capital gains tax, you've made some money. Now, believe it or not, my girls can't make that go away. They didn't create it. They didn't force you to pay it.
Yep.
So let's just pay it and get back what you need to do.
Yeah.
And we can all get on with our days.
That principle in general applies to all tax, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Any form of income tax, because
Totally.
Capital gains is just a version of income tax.
Yep, exactly
And
right.
so I remember Arthur Earle, who was a well-known property developer on the Gold Coast many years ago, said, I don't know why people complain about income tax. It means you made an income.
Beautiful. You've made money. You've sold something great.
Exactly.
But my girls are not the ones taxing you.
Yeah.
They've had some instances lately where, you know, they've taken a barrage from people about how ridiculous this is, and the people need to keep in mind they're there to help you. They're not trying to hinder anything. So it's not, if you want to give someone a spray, call the ATO, or call your accountant. Maybe they could have got you more deductions. I don't know, but we're just collecting it and helping you pay it, so you don't get fined for not paying it on time.
Exactly.
which is quite, you know, amazing. This one I find happens a lot as well. If you have a question, know what it is before you ring and try and be clear. Because if you confuse my girls, how do they help you? A bit of this and one of those and maybe this and here's a story and that and this, and then they come to me and go, I think she wants this. I think he needs that. But can you call him back? Because I actually don't understand the question. They will give you anything you want. And anybody that knows, my staff go out of their way and you know, they go, you know, the old added mile, extra mile and then some in any instance. But if you give them clear and concise instructions or a very clear question, they will get you a very clear answer. The innuendo makes being efficient very, very difficult. And that stands for lawyers, that stands for accountants, that stands for anybody. If you're not sure what you're asking, maybe you don't know what the question is, you should take a little bit more time to think about how you come about getting a solution. Because the clearer the advice, the clearer the need, the greater the understanding, the faster and more efficient we can get you exactly what you want. So just take that little extra bit of time and say, okay, well, what am I actually trying to do here? Because it's difficult on both ends of the transaction there. The other one that people need to keep in mind is we can't control the frequency that your super fund allows a pension payment. If you're in a super fund and you can only have a monthly pension payment, no matter what my staff want to do, they can't change the rules at a financial institution. So let's keep in mind.
Well, that's a good principle across the board, isn't it? When we're talking about the rules of a financial institution, the rules of the Australian Tax Office, the rules of Australian law, none of that can be changed by the people working at a financial advisor's office.
Totally. And again, they would love to get you what you need at the frequency you want it, but unfortunately, there are some things that even the most glorious of staff members can do. And feeding it to my girls about it isn't going to get you the outcome you're after, because they're just there to try and help you. And these are real life examples.
Yep.
And it's been quite topical this week. So I said, well, listen, we'll have a show about it. We'll be a bit tongue in cheek about it. But again, just another form.
Yep.
When you've got 150 of them a day is a huge time impost.
Yeah, so in summary, be on time, get your paperwork back on time, sign where indicated. If you are having an appointment, make sure you're properly prepared. If you're ringing up for a question, make sure you know what the question is. And have I missed anything?
Yeah, I've got one last one. If you've waited 3 months for a Zoom meeting, try it out before the meeting's scheduled.
Yes.
Because if we've got an hour together, there is nothing more frustrating for me than running out of time to try and help you because for 35 minutes you couldn't get the microphone to work. So get one of your kids involved, test it amongst yourselves, test it with grandma, test it with your 8-year-old, test it with someone. Have it working before the meeting starts, because I can add a huge amount of value in the time that we have. And if you limit that time, that could actually cost you information, tax, contributions, pensions, whatever it is that's really important to you. It's going to be more important than getting that microphone working.
Luke Smith from Envision Financial is with me in the studio today. The question is, how can you do your part when it comes to getting financial advice?
Yes.
And today's wisdom has been a lot of good advice, hasn't it?
Well, I think, look, this is just, again, tongue in cheek, but, just stop and think, is he talking about me? And maybe you can look at what you've done lately or what you may do in the future and keep a few of these pointers in mind so that at the end of the day, we can give you or get you exactly what you want. And, as we've said before the ad break, if we summed it up, read what we send you. It's actually worth reading because it'll probably answer a lot of the questions you're going to ring and ask. Confirm you're coming. That's always a good one. Give people plenty of notice when you want your money. Ringing me on Thursday morning and saying I need to buy a boat tomorrow when we need to sell investments is not going to end in a good result for you. We can only sell it as fast as we can get it settled. And again, we have no control over the timing of some of those redemptions. So with lots of notice, we can have that money sitting there with a big red bow on it so you can go and buy your boat. But if you tell me the day before, it's not going to end well. No matter what I want to do, I just can't. Ask great questions, you'll get great answers. And my favourite, sign where indicated. It'll save us all a lot of time and effort. And if it says sign with a pen, don't paste in a signature or sign it with your iPad thinking it'll be all right. No matter how silly you think it is, we didn't make the rules. I would love nothing more than to be able to take a digital signature for everything. I think it's crazy that somebody can't sign an iPad with an iPad pen and have it match a signature that someone has on file. I think it's ridiculous. But it doesn't matter what I think at a lot of super funds, and it definitely doesn't matter what I think at a lot of insurance companies, because they're still old school and want a wet pen on paper signature. And I get the irony of scanning it back.
I know.
I do. But I can't change it. So ringing up to fight about that stupidity just wastes everybody's time and effort. And remember that if we're collecting a tax payment or making a payment for you, we didn't cause the tax. We didn't create the tax. We didn't set the level of the tax. We didn't calculate your instalment. It came from the ATO. We're just trying to facilitate it for you in a timely manner so you don't get penalties for paying it late. So if people keep that sort of thing in mind, they will have a far better experience. My girls will be wonderfully happy, and we can get so much more done, which will generally result in you getting what you need faster. Because if we need to do something 3 times because you can't follow instructions, but if we can do it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, 9 times, 10 times, 11 times, 12 times, 13 times, 14 times, 15 times, 16 times, 17 times, 18 times, 19 times, 20 times, 21 times, 22 times, 23 times, 24 times, 25 times, 26 times, 27 times, 28 times, 29 times, 30 times, 31 times, 32 times, 33 times, 34 times, 35 times, 36 times, 37 times, 38 times, 39 times, 40 times, 41 times, 42 times, 43 times, 44 times, 45 times, 46 times, 47 times, 48 times, 49 times, 50 times, 51 times, 52 times, 53 times, 54 times, 55 times, 56 times, 57 times, 58 times, 59 ti that's actually not on us.
No, it's a little bit counterproductive, isn't it? But, Luke, we have reached the point in proceedings where I'm going to ask you, where can listeners get more information?
So, if you would like to enjoy this fun, 6260-4749 is the office number. We've got envisionfinancial.com.au on the internet. We've got the Strategy Stacker, Luke Talks Money on iTunes and Spotify. We've got the Envision Financial Canberra YouTube channel where we've got a backlog of all of our shows. And none of this is in Smart Money Strategy, your ultimate guide to financial planning, in all good and bad bookstores.
Maybe it'll be a fresh chapter in the revised edition.
It could be. A fold-out appendix.
That's right. Just get a little pamphlet made up and hand it out to all your customers.
Exactly.
It's how to be a good customer.
Perfect.
All right, Luke. Well, I think we've covered it today. So,
mate, that's it.
You're free to go and play golf or something for the weekend.
I'll go back to it. Thank you very much.
Indeed. We'll catch up with you again next week.
See you, bud.
Luke Smith from Envision Financial.